We struggle along the fence as I whimper. It's really unimaginable how long the runway of an airport is if one has to cover the distance on one's own sprained feet. Slowly, we work our way forward. The state I find myself in is one of absolute indifference, which I still remember from school as an after effect of great disappointment, caused by a sequence of events that forces the brain to shut down, a protective reflex to prevent the last remaining fuses from blowing. "For God's sake, pull yourself together," he begs me. "Our goal is within reach. Failure teaches you how to succeed. The capitalists were right about that. It's all about how we deal with the situations we encounter in life. Do we throw in the towel at everything that doesn't suit us, or do we say to ourselves, 'This is happening for my own good'? Have you ever heard of a self-fulfilling prophecy? No offense, but you deserve the situation you're in." The longer he listens to himself, the louder he gets. The power of positive thinking, dude. Visualize your dream, as Jim Carrey would say. Nothing is impossible if you believe in it. Yes, if you believe in it, nothing can get in your way. The ground beneath our feet is getting softer and softer. Swarms of mosquitoes buzz through the air. The reed grows over our heads, and we slowly realize why Venice was built on stilts. We are moving into a swamp. I don't know if this preacher realizes this, but if he doesn't, someone will have to tell him. My hope that it would stay with wet feet is gone, when not much later we find ourselves up to our hips in mud. A quick glance in his direction makes me realize the hopelessness of our situation. He strides forward, thrashing his arms around, his eyebrow twitching again. He wouldn't allow himself to turn back after the words from before. With distraught faces, we wade into our exhaustion. One machine after another takes off over our heads. "I can't take it anymore," I shout into the dark night. The suction effect of the ground makes our endeavor from step to step more strenuous. My legs are numb from the cold mud, which at least eases the pain from the jump a little. With his weight well distributed, lying on his stomach, he seems to have found a method that makes progress easier. "Look," he shouts, holding his head above water. We crawl through the swamp like two seals, our faces swollen from the mosquito bites. As I try to stand up again, because I'm having difficulties breathing, my arms sink in so that my upper body keeps falling forward into the mud. I panic. I'm certainly not about to drown in this swamp. I squirm and twist, screaming like a madman. "Stay calm," he screeches with his head turned over his shoulder. "Don't move." How am I supposed not to move? Does he want me to drown? Turned onto my back, with my arms and legs intuitively stretched away from my body, I lie there and look up into the night sky. My heart is about to leap out of my chest. I'm hyperventilating. A shooting star flies across the entire firmament. "Relax, dude." I can feel the adrenaline burning in my veins. "Breathe in, breathe out," I hear him say. The only thing a person is obliged to do in life is to breathe in and to breathe out. I feel his hand under my head. He starts laughing. "Holy shit," he roars again. I don't know what is happening to me and lie there in a disturbed reaction between laughter and crying. "Here, have a potato." "No thanks," I say as he chews again. "By God, you nearly died." I know he's not serious with his pity, but if I told him to shut up, I'd be the one who can't take a joke. So I decide not to react to his provocation and concentrate on breathing. He lies down next to me and shuts up by himself. After a long break, we turn back on our bellies. He explains to me how I should behave in order to cross this swamp without any water in my lungs, and after he has gone into detail about his technique, we move forward. Another hour later, dawn shines in the east, and the ground gets firmer again. Francisco strikes an exaggerated pose after he gets out at the other end of the swamp, Clapping, he cheers me on for my last 30 meters. I barely get to my feet, my neck stiff, my abdomen numb. I lie down in the grass while he jumps around me. Exhaustion and tiredness squeeze my eyes shut. We have a date with Europe. There's no time to lose if we want to be on top of that car park at sunrise. Next to the road, we walk to the airport. The chances of finding someone to give us a ride will be better there, and before anyone would let us get into any car, we should get rid of the dirt that is covering our bodies in a thick crust. Passing cars sound their horns. I care so little for what these people think about me. It makes me smile. Francisco blows them kisses, them and their horrified faces. Marco Polo adorns the sliding door through which we stroll in a relaxed manner. A group of securities can't believe their eyes. One can tell by their face expression that they would love to hit us with their sticks. Toilet, toilet, Francisco shouts at them with hectic gesticulation, and because they don't want any passengers to see our pitiful appearance, we are escorted to the sanitary facilities. Singing, he washes the dirt out of his ears. I'm at the sink next to him, bumping soap onto the flag, which looks a little worn out from our journey. Behind us are the security guards who don't move away from us. Insane would probably be the word that best describes us in their eyes. Rehabilitated, we are grabbed by the arms and escorted to the exit. Once outside, we say goodbye to our bodyguards, turn around and look into the eyes of a short, smiling man. Dressed in a blue uniform, a ridiculous hat on his head. In his hands, he holds a sign that reads Don Quixote Sancho Panza in beautifully legible letters. He seems to have been waiting for a long time, and as we have not yet turned down an opportunity on this trip, we seem to have found each other. Relieved, he takes the sign off his chest and almost kisses our hands with an obsequious bow. We gaze in amazement at the little man who holds open the door of a white limousine with his chest stretched out and his nose up in the air. Whatever, I think to myself. With this adventure, nothing surprises me anymore. Francisco moves over to the minibar and comes back with a bottle of champagne and 2 glasses. He shoots the cork through the sunroof and shouts something in Italian. With 2 glasses filled to the brim, we sit in the rear third of the car and feel like 2 bank robbers would feel after a robbery and successful escape. The window to the driver's cab opens and the funny face of the little man looks at us from afar. My companion immediately rushes to the window with a glass, but the little man refuses. He tells us about John Kabat-Zinn, the Missouri sisters, and Björk. All of them you had already brought to Venice. When Tiny Tim once offered him a glass of Moscow Mule, despite his driver's oath, the Carabinieri took his license. That was the worst day of his life, he says, as if a wound of a successfully suppressed trauma had reopened. With a weird look on his face, he sets the cruiser in motion. Past the swamp into the last chapter of this journey. We stretch our upper bodies through the sliding roof, screaming, roaring. Rich is the one who lives life, and the way we live, we are filthy rich. Forget this goddamn game. He throws his glass against the bank advertisement, drinks from the bottle. Let's put an end to this madness, he screams at 2 random guys sitting on the side of the street. He pulls Beethoven's Ninth out of his pants, puts it into the sound system, fast forwards it to the end, turns the volume knob to the max, and as Ode to Joy explodes in the speakers, we drive onto Via della Libertà. The view that is offered to us leaves me speechless. To the left and right, the sea. This road takes us over the water. The rising sun reflects on the calm waves in these early hours. Swans and storks fly alongside us. With the flag over our heads, we see Venice appear far out in the sea. Suddenly, our driver hits the brakes. The emergency braking presses our faces onto the roof and pulls us out of the hatch. We slide over the entire length of the car up to the hood and finally hit the asphalt. Our friend has received a call to pick up his annoyed guests. With kicks, we are helped onto our feet, his pointed shoes polished to a shine. Bastardi, he scolds us. Francisco raises his fist with the flag to the sky and storms off, limping slightly. My condition prevents me from escaping, and so I have to cope with getting stomped by this guy. My goodness, I think to myself, it was for good cause. With the deafening continental end theme and the first-class burnout, he speeds towards Francisco, honking his horn. He pretends to run him over. Like a bullfighter, Francisco holds the flag in his hands and lets him push into the void. In the colors of the morning sun, the facet of this city of cities shines on the horizon. Only a few hundred meters separate us from our destination. The waves crash against the dam. He rolls a joint under the protection of the wall. Pleasantly stoned, we walk along the crash barrier. While a bunch of overpaid fools in Brussels believe they are deciding the future of this continent, two fools are making a real contribution for a better Europe. A drama becomes a fairy tale when it becomes clear that it is we, the people, who carry the soul of Europe within us. It is not the laws, directives, and certainly not the cheap currency that make Europe what it is. It's the people of the whole world who don't give a shit about the ideas of these tie-wearing hypocrites who are ruining themselves with their ideologies. Joy, joy, for goodness sake. Best wishes to Elfriede Fleissner. Fuck you all who you think to be superior to humanity and watch yourself lose everything. The progress that makes you stumble, the crumbling of your illusions of a free world. Watch as you, driven by fear, forget to love and build your own cage with fences from which your children beg to escape. Resign, you politicians who you think you know what's right and wrong. Your idea of law and order is tied to chaos, your logic bound to insanity. A continent enlightened by the overcoming of fear, controlled by those who have lost control and are starving in their fear of being eaten.